Alright, this is only like the 90 billionth time I've recorded this video today. If you see this sheet moving behind me, it's probably because one of my cats has decided now's a good time to bug mom. So, got two of them sleeping within eyesight, so there's a third one somewhere hiding. Anyway, today I'd like to talk about, since Halloween is coming up, I would like to talk about hate speech. And not hate speech as in, oh, that person's so fat, she shouldn't be wearing that costume. I mean hate speech as in, I'm so fat, I shouldn't be wearing this costume. And this isn't a rant that I'm ranting at you because I heard somebody do this to themselves. This is actually more of a confession because I do this to me almost every day of my life. And it would be hypocritical for me to sit here and say that I'm over the problems that I've had to deal with in my lifetime and say that I'm 100% able to embrace myself and able to embrace my body and the image that I project. And I don't want to be hypocritical because I just don't. I don't like hypocrisy and I fight against hypocrisy and all of that. So that's not something that I want to be associated with. So I grew up in a situation in which I was heavily picked on by kids that were my own age because I was different. I was taller than they were. I was a larger girl. Plus, I had very long red hair. So all very different things, and kids are very cruel. So for about 10 years of my life, I was called dumb, fat, and ugly. And I believed it, every single word of it. And to the extent that I had actually become bulimic after a fashion. So when I was graduating from high school, they told me that I needed to prepare a valedictorian speech. And I said, why? And they said, well, you're the valedictorian. And I had no idea, and I couldn't believe it. I was floored because I was the dumb one of the class. But it turned out that I wasn't. And then I went on to college, and it was more of the same. And I wasn't sure whether or not I should believe it. I kind of did, and I kind of didn't. It depended on who said it and how they said it. What I thought of the person saying it more than anything. But as time went on and as my life went on, I realized I'm not dumb. I mean, I have a 4.0 master's degree hanging around here, and I just started work on a doctorate's program, so I'm not stupid by any stretch of the imagination. The fat and ugly, however, that has stuck with me, and that is probably where my biggest area of hate speech comes into play. Now, I understand that there are people who find me attractive. I don't necessarily understand that because I'm not my type, so I don't necessarily find me pretty, but I can appreciate that there are things about me that people find attractive. I know a lot of people like my smile. I don't. I find a lot of flaws with my smile. Now, I like my lips. I love my lips. But I don't like my smile. A lot of people like my eyes. I like that I have them and that they are functional. I don't particularly care for the color. They keep changing on me, and they never really stick to one color. They're brown, they're green, they're brown and green, they're rust colored, they're weird, and I don't like them. But that's me. Again, I'm weird in my perception of myself. But one of the things that I've noticed with myself is that I have a tendency, and I've noticed it lately. It's not something that I've noticed like 5 years ago and I still do it. I've noticed it lately. I've become aware of it just recently. And that is on days that I'm having very bad days. I will walk into my bathroom, I will look myself in the face in the mirror, and tell myself how worthless I am, how ugly I am, how fat I am, why I shouldn't be doing something. And all the reasons that I give myself, I believe and I buy into, for the most part. There's a little part of my brain that screams at me and says, why are you doing this to yourself? You are not fat. You are not ugly. You are an attractive young woman with a brain that could probably melt people. I'm pretty sure I could kill people with my brain. But regardless, there's a little voice in my head that just reminds me that if I start speaking hateful words to myself, that's going to come out in how I treat other people. That's going to come out in my blog and in my vlogs and on my Facebook pages and such, and Twitter and everything. And it's going to affect you guys. I've been told by more than one person that they look up to me and they respect me and admire how strong of a person I am. And I want you guys to know I'm no different than you. You can do the same thing that I do. And I would hope that you wouldn't say such hurtful things to yourselves, that you would embrace the truth, that you are a beautiful person, that you are unique, and that you are worth every single breath that you take and every single breath somebody takes while they are thinking of you. I understand it's difficult to accept it. I understand it's difficult to believe. I still have issues with that. The other day, I think yesterday actually, I was trying out a new makeup design for my costume for Halloween, and it took one of my friends telling me repeatedly that he thought I was a babe for me to finally say, wait a second, this isn't as bad as I thought. And started to realize that the costume that I have planned for Halloween, which I'm not going to tell you, is actually going to be really awesome. And it's going to look just fine, even though I think I might be too fat to wear it. I guess my point in all of this is to stop listening to the dog that's barking on this side of your head, saying, you're too fat, you're not good enough, you're too stupid, and start listening to the one that's over here that's just kind of yipping and trying to get its voice heard, saying, but you are. You're wonderful, and you're wonderfully made. I always loved that story about the two dogs and which one survived, and it's whichever one you feed. Don't feed into the hate speech. Feed into the love. The world needs more love, and you can never have too much.